Race number 3 is the first leg of the first double trio. We're on to the all-weather as well. 1650 is the trip here. Headed by Best Tango, actually beaten favourite on the opening day. That was on the turf. Happy Beauty up in trip, but he's 1 from 1 course and distance. Road Assassin behind Happy Beauty on his final start. Emirates dips his toe onto the all-weather for the first time. Equity Doctrine also behind Happy Beauty, the back end of last year, as was Dragon Bachelor. Vincent Ho jumps on board here from barrier 6. Now, we've made our way to the touchscreen to have a look at the speed map here, Brett, because doesn't seem to be a great deal of pace, which means obviously there's a chance here for some tactics to come into play. So we'll have a look at it. And Jimson the Famous, the first one maybe to touch on. Off the inside, he's going to push forward, but might not want to lead, as opposed to Happy Beauty, who might be the one to actually take it up slightly wider, maybe use a bit of petrol early, but try and find the front.
Definitely. I mean, Happy Beauty was able to find the front last year when he eventually crossed over, took it up and then went on to score. On that occasion, it was interesting that Road Assassin was able to actually sit quite handy to the speed. Now, if you look at the speed map on the website, they've actually got him sort of 3-4 back the fence. I actually think potentially he's a chance, Road Assassin, of being a little bit sort of handier, sort of just in here. And I'm going to exchange him with Jimson the Famous. If we can just work out how to move Jimson back a little bit to here. Because if you look at Jimson the Famous's record, 2 out of his last 3, he's been slow out of the gates. Now, I know he's drawn well and Poon's aboard, but he is unreliable. Yeah. So I've sort of got...
Best Tango into play.
Yeah, he might even have to get snagged back to last. But I think Jimson the Famous here is the interesting runner. If he doesn't step, I think Road Assassin could potentially take his spot. Faithful Boy, as you said, who's sitting outside of Happy Beauty, slow out at the valley, snag back. I think it'll be a different story. Amrit is quite reliable. The other potential option is Dragon Bachelor might want to roll forward too. He's a noted horse that likes to go forward. So a little bit of a variable here, which may make it a little bit more difficult for Happy Beauty to potentially cross through that first 200 or 300 metres. I think there's the chance that it could be a little bit of a scramble and Happy Beauty might have to work a little bit harder than he probably wants to, but ultimately he will find the front and be the hardest to run down.
All right, and he's an old favourite of Paul's as well. What have you got as far as track work's concerned, Paul?
Well, we've just got a couple of pieces here. The first one we'll look at is Happy Beauty. He's going really nicely. Now, he's had this one run already over 1,000 metres and ran really well. This is his go, and back on the surface for the second time. He's had 1 start on it and 1 win, so do like him. And the other one we're having a look at here is Equity Doctrine. He's the only other one that was sort of worthy of showing a bit of track work on, and he's striding out really nicely as well. As you can see, Olivia Deleuze aboard him.
He was in that trial that I spoke about before too, Paul, so interesting.
Well, let's have a look at the Happy Beauty race. Big price on this occasion, good ride as well, got to the front, just kept kicking.
Yeah, and Dylan Moe is aboard here, so he gets that extra bit of claim off. The horse has dropped 20 pounds, so he'll strip a lot fitter after his debut run, of which I thought was terrific. It was almost like a trial. It was 1,000 metres down the straight, and he hit the line really strongly for third. He shows he's come back bigger than ever, and I think he'll win.
You can see Road Assassin and Dragon Bachelor did get a little close to him there, final stages, so if there is a little bit of pressure for him, Happy Beauty, in the start, that might just soften him up a little bit. But that first up run was terrific, straight 1,000. The other thing with that speed map, if Jimson the Famous does kick up, then all of a sudden there's a little bit more of a scramble, maybe potentially makes it a little harder for the favourite.
All right, you say he's come back bigger than ever, Paul, but let's have a look at Happy Beauty finishing third in that race. He's actually lost 20 pounds for this run. He has,
and that's what I'm saying. He'll strip fitter even more, and so this is like a final workout, I think, for this particular run. So over 1650 is his go. He's by Mafke. He's had 1 start in the dirt and he's won it.
We were a little surprised to see him do this. I think most people were. He went around at 40s, so it just highlights his well-being and residual fitness that's carried through.
Yeah. He doesn't look bad for losing that 20. No, that's why I showed that track work. He looks good.
Amrit, he's run some good races in defeat, sort of knocking on the door. I know this is Class 5, but could this be the making of him, if you like?
Possibly. He comes onto the all-weather for the first time, and he is out of an American mare, so I think the surface will be perfect for him. And he's quite reliable out of the gates. He's going well. There's definitely a win in Class 5 for him, and I think he'll get an ideal run from barrier number 2.
Yeah, I put him in on a minor line. He's still a maiden from 16 starts, but as you said, he should like the surface, and he'll get a good run from 2.
You take Jay Ponce out of that, he just falls in. But I think he might be better actually on the dirt, maybe than the turf.
OK, so a couple of question marks there, but No surprise, I don't think, from you, Paul.
No, I like this horse. I think he is. He's an all-weather specialist, and he's found his little niche. He's found his tribe here in Hong Kong as Happy Beauty. I think he'll go to the front and he'll win. He's got the gate speed to overcome whatever, come what may, of those little skirmishes behind. I think Jimson the Famous, he likes the all-weather as well. He's put on a little bit of weight, and from barrier 1 he'll kick up Matthew Poon aboard. Road Assassin's been a very disappointing horse here. He came here rated 80 odd. He's now rated 37. So there must be a race for him somewhere along the way. Put him in for third, and Rosario for fourth. 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, I think he's the hardest to beat, Happy Beauty, no doubt. But just because of that little sort of potential extra pace maybe heading out of the stretch, maybe makes him work a little bit more, Happy Beauty. I think Road Assassin, when you look at that replay from last season, has to be some chance. Neil actually dropped his rein at the 300 as well, and he got very close. So I'll go with him from Happy Beauty, who's the hardest to beat. Amritsari is honest, and he could well like the surface. And Equity Doctorate, if they go a little bit too quick, he trialled nicely in that trial I highlighted before. He could be closing off well, but I'd suggest you play the 4 each way, and even maybe Equity Doctrine as well, or you could back them both straight out and take on the favourite. There's a few options I would have thought here for race number 3.